have a question for Jamie. A few years ago you were in Oorlogswinter, a Dutch movie for kind of the same age group, maybe a bit younger. How do you get involved in something like that, which is very Dutch and it involves an English character? And how does it compare to the full fantasy side of something like The Mortal Instruments?
The question was, in case anybody didn't hear it, many moons ago I did a film called Oorlogswinter, or Winter in Wartime, as it was translated to. It's a Dutch book, it's a Dutch kids book, based in war. I won't bore you with the story because we're not here to talk about that. But the question was, you know, how did I become involved in it, and then how does experiencing something like that differ to something like this? I became involved in it, literally got the script sent through to me, read it, loved the story. Martin Koolhoven, who directed it, I got on Skype with him, we connected really well. He's an incredible man. He has the most insane vision, and like, he's mental, and I kind of love that. And so I just wanted to be involved in it, you know, and they were very nice and put me in their film, and I said thank you, and I spent, you know, however long in Holland and Lithuania, and how has it differed? It's funny, someone asked this, people ask me this a lot, you know, like, how does it differ being on something small to being on something big? I suppose budget-wise, obviously, you know, you get a bigger studio, the scope is bigger. But for me personally, I do the work that I want to do, the stories that mean a lot to me, rather than just sort of jumping on a bandwagon for the sake of jumping on a bandwagon. Like, I wanted to be involved in Twilight because when I first read the books, I wanted to play Edward. And I was, you know, and when the first movie was being cast, I wanted to be part of that. So when it came around again, they were like, John Bean, I was like, of course I do. And then like Harry Potter, amazing, like phenomenal, like seminal book series of my childhood. Like, why wouldn't I want to be in that? It's incredible. So just to clear that up, just in case anyone's going, well, you jumped on that bandwagon. So for me, you know, it's just like being involved in anything that has a great story and a great team behind it. That's the main thing for me. That's the most important thing.
Okay, there's a lady, I believe she's at the back there. You could stand up for me? Yeah, that's you. No, sorry, the lady behind you. That's, sorry.
I was just going to ask what books you both read when you were younger, and what you'd say is your favourite book right now.
What books did I read when I was younger? My favorite books when I was growing up were Lord of the Rings. I loved those books. I read them every year. I still read them all the time. They're wonderful. And I love how Tolkien built a whole world that felt incredibly real. And what am I reading right now? I just started reading Game of Thrones. I told myself I wouldn't, and I was going to wait until they were all over.
Oh, Game of Thrones, it's awesome, right? I'm back.
So I'm reading that.
Books that I read when I was growing up: Spot the Dog, classic. Different Ship, another classic. I suppose like teenage years, you know, classic, normal, Catching the Ride, Salinger. And then the book that actually really changed my opinion of reading, because I'm dyslexic and I found it quite hard to read. So if something didn't grab my attention, I just would like put it down. And I'm sort of like that in life anyway. Like I just sort of had a bit of like, oh bird, a squirrel. It was On the Road, Kerouac, On the Road, and my friend Gabriel got it for me, and he got me this, no chapters, just how he wrote it, like straight out on the keyboard on his typewriter. And then the book that I'm reading at the moment, this is an admission, it's Dan Brown's Inferno. But I'm also reading like really important stuff like Sylvia Plath and like, you know, Brian Patton and all these great poets as well. So don't judge me.
Lovely. We've got a question over here.
Hi, over here. It's for Cassie. On a scale of 1 to Clockwork Princess, how hard is Heavenly Fire going to kick me in the feels?
There's a 1 to Clockwork Princess scale? Oh my goodness. I think that's, oh god. Alright, call 1's Spot the Dog and Clockwork Princess 20. I think it's only like a 15. 15. It's less sad. I mean, there's something incredibly sad in about Tessa living forever and the fact that all the people she loves are going to die. And you don't have that with City of Heavenly Fire. I mean, and Jason, Clary, and the crew, they're all mortal pretty much, except Magnus. And, you know, they have mortal problems. So it doesn't have this sort of overwhelming sense of sadness.
Just get another kick me in the feels.
Okay, we're going to do two ways, the lady with sort of the off-green hair and the woman who made a face at me. So you get the next one, okay?
Hi, this question's for Jamie. I just wanted to know who your favourite character is in the series and which actor do you think really brought a character to life for you?
Ooh, what in this series? Oh gosh, everyone did such a sterling job. I don't want to be like that was me, stand out, unbelievable. My favourite character in the whole series, Church probably.
Church, I think it's because Church has the most peaceful life. Like, really, he just is usually like asleep in the back room in the Institute while everybody else is out fighting, you know, Valentine or demons or possessed Jace or whoever's the bad guy at the time.
He does get stroked by Jace with his bare feet a lot though, doesn't he? So it's a bit like, I don't know if I really want someone's like dirty feet all up in my fur.
I don't know, I always thought Jace was sort of a neat freak and showered like 6 times a day.
Yeah, he does, yeah, he loves himself. Yeah, he's walking around, he's too much of a dirty glass. I don't...
Okay, we'll go with the lady, yes.
This is for both of you. So in Jamie's work, you've always had quite dark, serious characters during the time. So Cassie, have you seen much of Jamie's work before? And do you think that some of the elements from his previous characters are quite like Jace?
Okay, the last part got drowned out by screaming. I'm sorry. So, you said Jason's quite kind of a dark and intense character, and how much of Jamie's work had I seen before?
Yes, please. Do you think that like some of his work before was quite Jace-like?
I had seen his work before. I knew who he was. You know, I'd seen Sweeney Todd, and when they first said, you know, Jamie Campbell-Bower, that was the first thing I thought of, and I was like, oh, he's so young. Without actually thinking, oh, right, people do age. And so, you know, they kept telling me, you know, who was going to come in and do chemistry tests and read and whatnot. And so they said, okay, well, this is what we got today. And I was like, all right. And I just sort of clicked on the audition thing, and I was like, okay, oh, yeah, right. Oh, this is really good. Okay, he's really, really good. Okay, he's great. Okay, we want him. That guy. And they were like, oh, you know, I mean, we were still looking at different Jaces. They were like, what about these other guys? And I was like, no, I hate them. No, we want that guy. And they were like, what about him? I was like, no, I hate him. Personally, I hate him. No, we want that guy. And they were like, no, she's really not going to say anything else. And I was like, yeah, that guy. We want that guy. He's great. And so then once, you know, we actually had him, I went and watched a whole bunch of his other work. You know, I watched Anonymous, and I watched him in, I enjoyed his work as Dumbledore's boyfriend. I think we all did.
Yeah, that screen time. One of those 12 seconds.
It was a very dramatic jump out the window. That was like, that's James right there.
Hey, I'm still getting paid.
And of course, you know, from Twilight, and I went and watched all of Camelot. So I really did like familiarize myself with what he could do, and I was really confident, really, really confident that he could do this. So.
For me, I said this not yesterday, 2 days ago. For me, a lot more of Jace existed within me than I actually knew. I'm trying to find you to stay. There you go, there you are. Sorry, I just hate like scanning and not paying attention to anyone. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I think a lot of Jace existed in me that I didn't really know about. And that was really interesting for me, because I do actually naturally take on the dark side of things, because I'm quite light in my life. I need to get rid of the darkness so I don't do work. So that was really interesting for me to experience that.
It's true, he's quite grumpy on set when he's being Jace, and then completely different when not being Jace.
It's true, I'm schizo.
Okay, we're kind of coming up to the end of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a couple of questions, if that's all right. So we're going to go with the lady, yes, you with the tattoos on your arm. One, yeah, one. You, 2, okay. You've been dancing in the back, literally, dancing. All the way in the back, yes, you're just jumping up and down there. We're going to get, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, where are you? 4, and 5, that's it, okay? Sorry guys, but you will get a chance to ask them the questions when you go for the signing, okay?
Yay.
Okay, good stuff. So we'll start off with the lady with the tattooed arm.
Hi, this is for Jamie. I was wondering, what aspects of playing Jace do you enjoy the most?
Aspects of playing Jace, hello by the way, nice to meet you. The aspects that I enjoy playing, I suppose personality-wise, I said this again, I've said this before, but it's the truth. I like his vulnerability. I like the fact that he gives us this amazing persona and this amazing front of being like super like, you know, words, and then like actually like it's like, oh my god, oh my god. Obviously not that camp. I promise. And then like for the movie, like I love getting to do more stuff. I love that. I'm a kid. I'm like a 12. I'm sitting here shaking my little legs. I'm like a 12-year-old boy who wouldn't want to wield a sword and like learn how to do front flips. It's crazy.
This one's for Cassie. You started out as a fan fiction author, and I'm sure a lot of people got into you that way. How does it feel starting off writing about other people's characters and loving them and turning them into something of your own, and now people are taking your characters and writing fan fiction about them? How does that feel for you?
There's a very lively like fan fiction community for Mortal Instruments, which I think is great. And I think, you know, coming from writing that kind of stuff, you really feel like how flattering it is and how much it means people are invested in the world. But I don't read it, you know, we're sort of kind of told not to read it, like, you know, very legal issues and whatnot. So I have a deal with my friends. I read fan fiction of their books, and they read fan fiction of my books. So I'll send my friend Sarah or my friend Holly off to find out whatever's going on in fan fiction land, and they'll come back and read. Like, I read this great Jason Alex story, and I'm like, what were they doing? And
I'm in.
What do you think? And somewhere Sarah's waving at me, being like, I don't care what you say. That Luke Valentine, that was gold. So I don't know, I'm just really happy that people love the characters so much that they want to write these stories about them, and you know, it makes me really happy. So Godspeed, what I say.
First of all, I want to say, Jamie, the Italian fans love you like Jace, and then I've seen the sketch. I'm sure you're very, very amazing people. And for Cassie, can you give us the preview of the Malek for the Studio Empire? Okay.
Any Malek juice? I don't know if I can say anything much about it, except that Alec begins the book incredibly mopey because he and Magnus broke up, and Jace gets so tired of Alec constantly calling Magnus that he takes his phone and breaks it. Says, you know, guys don't let their guy friends keep calling other guys. So yeah, Alex starts out quite a bit sad about it, but you know, circumstances bring him and Magnus back into the same area, and stuff happens. So that's all I can say.
Every good story starts with a breakup.
That's right. Everybody has to have a broken heart at least once.
Hi, my question is for Cassie. What's your favourite book to write?
Oh, my favorite book's always whatever I'm working on. So, right now it's City of Heavenly Fire.
This is for both of you. Considering on the trailer you can see a lot of alterations made from the original book, do you prefer the movie with its alterations, or do you prefer the original one you wrote?
I think that the thing is, it's just a different medium. I mean, one of the alterations, the main alteration is it's a movie, not a book. And so, you know, with a film you always have to compress things down, move them around, change them slightly, and, you know, like I said, Lord of the Rings is my favorite books in the world. The movies, I think, are the best, some of the best fantasy movies ever made. They change a lot. You know, they compress down years of action into 15 minutes or 5 minutes of film, and sometimes you just have to do that. You can't get everything in. So I think as long as that it stays very true to the spirit of the book, and that's what's important to me. I mean, I love that scene that we just saw, which I don't actually think is in the book. I was literally sitting there going, I don't think this is in here, where Madame Dorothea asks Jace to take his weapons off, and he's literally got like, you know, he starts taking out his knives, and then more knives, and then more knives, and then more knives, and then the ones in his shoes, and you know, whatnot. And I was like, well, I don't actually remember if that's in the book or not. I literally don't, because it is very true to his character. Whether it's in the book or not, it's definitely something he would do.
Yeah, I want to echo Cassie's sentiment on that, you know. And we'd love to make a movie that's 6 hours long, that fits everything, your wildest dreams, and every single word thing that the book has. Like, I would kill to do something like that. The fact of the matter is, if we made one of those movies, we'd bankrupt the studio, and there would be no chance of us making any more films ever again. So, you know, we'd love to do that, but like Cassie said, we have to compress, they had to compress it down. I think the main thing is for me, and I assume it's the same for you guys, the characters that you created are what I fell in love with. You know, the words are there, but it's the characters themselves. So we have to look at the specific elements of what drew us to those characters. And yeah, some bits will change, and yeah, some bits might not be in, and you know, you might be upset about it. I was upset about some things, but like, ultimately, we've still got to make the characters that you guys all fell in love with, and that we fell in love with, relate to what you're seeing on screen, and what to Cassie wrote in the book.
Hiya, this is kind of triggered by the kicked in the feels comment. I was wondering, do you guys find it as hard to act and to write those things as we find to read it? Because Clockwork Princess, I was a blubbering mess for the second half of the book. My boyfriend was laughing at me because I was kind of like crying hysterically. Do you find it really hard to write, and do you find it really hard to act those scenes?
I do actually. We really like heartbreaking scenes, and the really like, you know, I don't know about spoiling anybody who hasn't read it, but like the death that's in City of Glass, that was very difficult for me, you know, to write, and you know, there's deaths in City of Heaven with Fire, and of course Clockwork Princess is, writing the epilogue was really sad. You know, I sat there sort of crying because you have to feel like the pain of the characters, and you have to kind of get into the mind space of like, you know, this sort of sense of overwhelming sorrow to write, you know, about overwhelming sorrow. And it's hard, but I think that the reason that, you know, there's a reason we call it a good cry. You know, like if you had a good cry, is that like it's a catharsis, it purges your feelings, and that's what that kind of, you know, sadness is meant to do. Is sort of like let you work you through those sad feelings and leave you with a sense of hope. So hopefully that is what it did, but I do cry sometimes.
Yeah, I find it quite difficult sometimes at work, because it's not that I'm method, but like I have to sit there and I have to feel exactly what it is with the characters reading. Otherwise, it's pretend, but otherwise it's just going to look pretty rubbish, I think. Maybe some of you agree with what that sentiment says anyway about my work, maybe you don't. You know, it's emotionally very draining. But like Cassie said, there's a catharsis to it. It's a very cathartic process, and like I said earlier, to a loveliness over there, you know, that you know, I have to let the darkness out sometimes, and that comes out through the work, and that's helpful for me.
Lovely. We have one question left, I believe, and she has a microphone. Is it on? Oh, lovely. Is that on? Yes, please.